Hey everyone, welcome to another critique video, second episode. Thank you so much for sending your pictures. It's wonderful to see the work that you guys do from all over the world, really. And I hope you're all safe during these crazy times with coronavirus. I hope you can stay home and not have to go out. Um, and before I start the video again, I'm sorry if I mispronounce your names. I'll do my best. I'm sorry if I'm a bit harsh on some pictures. I'm gonna try to be as constructive as possible with the feedback, but I'm gonna be honest as well. This is what I said on the initial video. This is what I'm gonna try to do, is provide criticism so that you can improve. Keep in mind, this is my opinion, so what I might think, someone else might not think the same. So that's what matters. I'm gonna put the email on the screen if you guys want to keep sending pictures for a third video. Hopefully if I get enough, I'll do another one. And yeah, I think that's it. I think I'm gonna walk the dog. First Rocky and then Emma. Next one should be fun because she's crazy in the head. Anyway, thank you so much for your emails, for your pictures, for giving me contacts on some of the emails. It's fun to see the behind the story, so I can see what I'm looking at. Right, Rocky? Let's go. Okay, guys, let's get this video started then. Okay, so the first picture is by John, and it was taken in August of last year. What can I say? I love the detail of the water being sprayed when he hits the ball. I mean, trying to get someone with the eyes open in this type of shot is pretty much impossible. I like that the background is completely blurred out. There's nothing distinguishable in there. There's a tiny slight movement on the ball, but since I don't have metadata on this picture, I cannot check what shutter speed this was shot at. But I love it. Seems sharp. I love the detail of the water. It's fantastic. This is a 1:1 ratio, so I'm assuming this was for Instagram. Otherwise, if it wasn't, I would have liked to see maybe a little bit more of the player's body, maybe the full body, or a different type of crop. But for Instagram, this looks perfect. So thank you very much, John. Great picture. Well done. Okay, and the next picture is by Bob Bruce. Now, if you remember the first episode, he had that wonderful picture of the cyclist in the velodrome with a helmet. You could only see his mouth. Amazing shot. This is a rugby match. Obviously, someone is being tackled. The only thing I don't appreciate too much is the hand being cut off. Unless the picture ended here, in which case you have no option but to cut his hand off because it's already cut. But if that's not the case and you do have more framing here, then what I would do is make sure that his hand is visible. You don't want to cut off limbs like this. It's possible that you might have to cut this guy's back a little bit, but still keep this guy's hand in the frame. I'm assuming at the top you framed it like this so that you wouldn't lose this guy's face, even though he's quite out of focus, so that's fine. This guy's hand is unfortunate that it's there. It'd be cool if it wasn't, but there's nothing you can do about that. But this is what I would change. If you do have more framing, include this guy's hand. That's my recommendation, I suppose. The picture is quite small. You can see the dimensions here, so I don't know if it's the crop or you just intentionally cropped it this small, so I cannot check, like go in and check the details. It looks to be sharp enough. It looks fine, but it's so small I can't really tell. But other than that, great shot. You got the action in the heat of the moment, so well done to you. Okay, so the next picture is by Dirk, shot at 340 millimeter, ISO 640. You can see the settings here on the side. The camera body, the lens as well. So at this speed, you're gonna freeze the action. There's nothing that's gonna be moving, or shouldn't be. I like it. There's the background's completely out of focus. It's not distracting too much. It'd be cool if it would have audience. Obviously, you want to see in sports pictures, you want to see people watching the games, right? It's a bit sad when you're shooting a game and there's no one really watching or just a few people. but there's nothing you can do to change that. Either people go to the games or they don't. That's it. But what you can do though sometimes is when there's not enough people on one side but there's people on the other, you position yourself so that when you capture a shot, there will be people behind the action in the background. Even though they're blurred, whoever's watching the picture will get a sense that there's public watching the match, which makes for a better picture than a match where apparently there's no one watching. Does that make sense? I hope it does. But anyway, that's completely separate to this picture itself. The cropping is fine. It's sharp. It's a nice action shot. There's no way in hell you're gonna be able to catch these players with their eyes open, just like the first picture. Overall, good job. Thank you for submitting the.
Okay, the next one is by Gordon. First thing that pops immediately, to me at least, is the guy on the back. I mean, what is he doing? He's probably a spectator because look at the boots. He's not an official. So I guess he just wants to play rugby as well. I found it funny. I mean, you're trying to look at a sports photo and all of a sudden there's a spectator running next to the players. But anyway, so that popped right away for me. And then the other thing I noticed was the horizon is not level. If you look at the power line or the fence at the very back, seems to be tilted just a little bit. So I would straighten that just a little bit like that. Other than that, background's completely out of focus. Great job. You're shooting at f2.8, so that shouldn't be an issue. I think you shot, yeah, exactly 1,600 of a second. I mean, nothing's gonna be in motion right there. Great shutter speed, ISO 100, which is like what we always desire. Everything's tack sharp, so excellent job. There's nothing you can do about the guy in the back. I thought I'd just mention it because it's weird to see a spectator running next to the players. Maybe it's one of the coaches, I don't know. This guy's trying to push the other one away while running with the ball. Good action shot. Great job. Thank you, Gordon, for submitting your photo. Okay, and the next one is by Michael Guess. Another football photo. 1-to-1 ratio, so again, assuming it's for Instagram. The main subject of the photo, goalkeeper, is sharp enough. It's not the sharpest, but it is sharp enough. You can see some motion blur on both these guys' legs. Just look at the boots here and here. You can see they're a bit soft. Even at 1/250th of a second, right? So keep that in mind when shooting sports. Sometimes you will need to raise the shutter speed even more if you want to completely freeze the action. But in this case, it's okay because it gives a sense of motion. And the goalkeeper is completely frozen, so that's okay. The thing I would do is, if you want to crop like this, I'd crop even tighter if you can, because you don't need this much dead space at the bottom, I would say. So I would crop a little tighter like that, but that's up to you. Maybe raise the exposure a little bit as well. Now, I don't want to turn this into a editing video. Maybe I should do one of those one day, but that's what I would do. Just slight changes here. Other than that, I do like the picture. I like the action. The fact they're all muddy makes for great pictures. Maybe not so much when you get home and you have to clean all the stuff, but good shot, good action shot. Thank you for submitting your photo. Okay, and the next one by Varun. I don't know how to pronounce that name. Thank you for submitting the photo, first of all. So when I got this picture, he mentioned on the email that the problem he faced during the match was at what Kelvin to shoot at. I assume you mean the white balance. But if you shoot in RAW, even if you set it on auto, you can correct that quite easily in post. Even in Photoshop, Lightroom, whatever. Here in Lightroom, it'll be in the temperature. You just use this slider to change the white balance. So that should not really be a problem. What I did notice though, is right away is that there's motion blur on the ball. And then if you start zooming in, you see a little bit on the players as well. Not much, but you see a little bit. So what you need to do here is raise this shutter speed. 6/40th of a second is too slow, in my opinion, for adults in football. I'd go at least 100th of a second for football, if not higher. Ideally 1000 at least. This, you're pushing it too much if it's actually gameplay. If they're standing still doing nothing, this is probably too fast. But for action, I think it's too slow. So maybe raise that a little bit. You're at ISO 1000. That's not too much. It's gonna go up obviously, but I think it should be fine. Other than that, I like the action. He's about to fall, or both of them are about to fall. It's sad that there's no one watching behind. The horizon, you could straighten it just a little bit. Just look at the fence or the steps, and should be, or the grass below, should be easy to do. And then I would crop in a little bit as well, because you want to fill the frame with the action and not have too much dead space. So this is what I would do framing wise, something like this. They do seem a bit soft, and that's likely because of the motion blur, right? So while you can do something about noise, so the high ISOs in post-production, you can fix a little bit of the noise, you cannot fix motion blur. So this is why it's important to have a high shutter speed. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for submitting the picture. Good action shot. And let's go to the next one. Okay, the next picture is by Serjan. I love this picture. I mean, foggy games, they are so hard to photograph because the focusing struggles. I had a match like this 2 years ago or 1 year ago, it doesn't matter, where the game was actually called off on the second half because the players couldn't see 2 meters in front of them, let alone me trying to photograph him. But so I know how hard it is to photograph a match like this, and I think you did a fantastic job of this goal celebration. You have obviously the guy that scored the goal with his fists clenched, his teammate behind him celebrating, and the other two on the back. And you can see just how they start to disappear in the fog. Also another player from the other team with the hands down. Little details like the grass in the air from him running. Good framing. Good job. Just excellent job on the celebration part. The only thing I would do to this picture is maybe pop the colors a little bit, give it a little bit more contrast. Now, I'm not going to show you step by step on what I did to make this, but you can see the settings here on the right. I already edited this picture before doing the video, so I'm going to show you what I would have done to the picture. So this is what it would look like if this was my picture. But then again, if you prefer it to be like this to emphasize the fact that it was a foggy game, that's absolutely fine. I'm just showing you what I would have done to the picture. But yeah, fantastic job, Serjan. Thank you so much for submitting your photo. Okay, and the next picture is by Christy McGraw. It was shot at an equestrian event in Mill Street, County Cork. So this is close to home. So it's excellent to see people from Ireland submitting photos. Now, I have never shot an equestrian event, so my critique to you is just more on the technical side, other than the aspect of the actual sport, because I don't know what the usual picture or what are the details that you should be looking at when taking a picture like this. So I'm not gonna try to bullshit stuff that I don't know. The one thing I would do is I would crop in a little tighter just to show the main subject a bit more. But if you want to frame it like you did just so that the whole setting is shown, that's absolutely fine. But in my opinion, I would fill it up just a little bit more. Other than that, everything is absolutely tack sharp. You can see the water droplets everywhere. It's amazing, amazing. You did a fantastic job. The colors, the contrast, everything is spot on. I wouldn't change a thing. Just looking at this picture, I can imagine myself instantly putting a remote camera near that bar, and myself being on another location taking different shots. Probably impossible to do that, and I don't think he would be allowed to put a remote camera there, but I would find a place to put one just so I can get more than one picture of the same scene. But yeah, fantastic job. You caught him at a wonderful moment. He's completely frozen, looking straight ahead. The details of the water droplets everywhere. It's just fantastic job. Thank you very much for submitting the photo, Chris. Okay, and the next one is by David Davis, women's football. So instantly I noticed that the players are cut off. Like this one has no feet, this one doesn't either. Uh, a hand missing, a little bit of the hand and the arm. You don't want to cut off limbs like that. Again, it's important to make sure that you crop so that the player is shown. If you want to intentionally crop in, make sure it doesn't look weird. See, from the waist up, if both hands are shown, that's okay. But don't cut off like mid leg at the chin or something like this. Definitely not the way you cropped right here. I don't know if this is the original frame or not. If you have more picture, then it's okay to have the players a little bit smaller, just so that their full bodies are shown. The image looks slightly soft as well, so you might want to raise the shutter speed. Other than that, I don't think there was much editing done to this picture as far as color correction is concerned. It looks a little bit flat. Then the other player at the back, just standing still like that doesn't help much either. But forget the fact that they're soft and that there seems to be a little bit of motion blur. The thing I would improve in this picture first and foremost would be the framing. Make sure that the players, like this one is just about to be cut off here, and they're definitely cut off at the bottom and at the left. Make sure to give them space to breathe, so to speak. Like this one, for example, she has space on this side and below her, and tons above, and that's fine. But these ones don't. If you want to have a detailed shot, then go all in, right? If you want to have a detailed shot, then go all in. Don't cut them off like this. I know I'm being a bit harsh, but I'm just being honest. I think there's tons of room for improvement, and I hope you don't give up. I hope you can keep sending images, and I'm sure that you'll have better ones to show. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to show you what could make for a better picture. And yeah, thank you nonetheless for submitting the picture, David. And I hope to see more images of you soon, and keep shooting. Okay, the next picture is by Chris Hoyle. Rugby picture. I assume, well, I'm pretty sure he's about to score a try. Nighttime game. I mean, these games are so hard when the lighting is poor, and I'm sure it was. I see there's tons of noise in the picture, so I'm assuming the ISO was really high. Do I have metadata? No, I don't. Not for this picture. So I'm guessing the ISO was really, really high. But you kept your shutter speed high enough too, because there's no motion blur. He looks to be sharp enough. It's just sad that there's a little bit too much noise. The one thing I would do to this picture, though, would be raise the exposure just a little bit. And it seems that the white balance is a little bit off. So I would change that as well, just to make it look a bit more natural. But you can do that in post, no problem. The moment itself, fantastic. You caught him midair. His player's looking on. I don't know where the rest, the the other team is, or the other teammate's probably to the side. Doesn't matter. You caught the moment in time where he's about to score the try. Fantastic. Great shot. Good job. It's just a bit sad about the noise, but there's nothing you can do when the conditions are like that. I know this because I've done tons of night games where you cry for a little bit or more light, but there's none, and this is the best you can do. So great job. Great action shot. You got it in a perfect moment. Thank you for submitting the photo, Chris. Okay, and the next picture is by Claire Makaha. Now, the interesting thing about this photo is not the photo itself, it's the person behind the photo, because it's sort of a colleague of mine, I would say. We both shoot for extratime.ie, which is an online page that covers anything to do with football, from underage to the national team, to the leagues, women's football, men's football, everything that has to do with football in Ireland or with Irish players. They cover it, and myself and her, photograph for extratime.ie. So it's nice to see a colleague's photo coming up for the critique. So look at the caption. I mean, everything is there. So this was a Euro 2020 qualifier match between Northern Ireland and Belarus at Windsor Park in Belfast. Scrolling down, you can see the metadata for the exposure, 1/800 of a second at f4. I'm surprised you got no motion blur, or very little, maybe a little bit on this foot, but like none almost at a lower shutter speed like this. Fantastic job. You can see look at this, rain everywhere. This is like what happens in pretty much every game in Ireland. Rain, you can expect that. Even during the summer, the rain just gets warmer. The framing is perfect. You can clearly see the crowd in the back completely out of focus. Great action shot, both fighting for the ball. You can see that they must be really close to you, I assume, because this is where the grass starts to be all mud, so it's outside of the line, I assume. Great action shot, Claire. You got the moment perfectly. I think you did a fantastic job. Maybe I would have cropped in just a little bit, but this is a personal preference. Like that guy over there, I wouldn't mind too much about him. Maybe I would have cropped just a little bit to fill the frame a bit more, but your edit is fine, obviously. Great action shot. It's like one of those typical football pictures that there's nothing to complain about, really. Great shot. Great job, Claire. Thank you for submitting the photo. Okay, now you might be wondering, why the hell am I watching Google Maps? But I want you to look at this before you look at the other picture. Now, Pascal sent me this in the email and said, if you're interested, here's a little bit of context. This is where the actual picture was taken. So this is in downtown Zurich. So just look at this, right? People everywhere, the tram there, people shopping. So I thought that's cool. That's really cool. It gives you tons of context for the picture. So now let's go back to Lightroom. Okay, so this picture, like I said, was submitted by Pascal. And in the email, he told me, I had a lot of pictures of people running, their faces running towards me, all sorts of pictures. And he sent me this one because it's different. And I get that, because you look at the pictures like, wow, I cannot see the guy's face, but you know what's going on immediately, right? You know that it's a marathon or a mini marathon, some sort of run, right? There's barriers on the side so people don't walk in. The streets are completely deserted, so you know what's going on. I like the tracks, the line from the train. They work like leading lines in this case. The framing, you chose to put them smack in the middle. That's absolutely fine, because the picture was intentionally shot at a distance to show the whole setting. I like this. I like the picture. The only thing I would do in this case, again, you can see on the right side, I've already changed some settings, would be to make the colors pop just a little bit more. So this would be my edit of the picture. Other than that, I don't have much to say, really. It's a different shot, which is sometimes the most difficult thing to get, is to get that different shot. You want to see, how can I showcase the same event but from a different perspective? And that's when you're brain starts to think and have to think so you don't get the same picture that everybody else is gonna get. So I think you did a fantastic job, Pascal. You can see this was the one that I picked for the thumbnail, so I clearly enjoyed it. There were other pretenders, but this one, like you said, it's a different picture. So good job on this. Thank you for submitting that context. The Google Maps, once I saw, it's like, I need to check this out. That's really cool. Just looking at the busy street and then going to the picture, like, oh, okay, that's where he was shooting. That's where the runner was running. It's amazing. Thank you so much for submitting the photos. And this was the last one, I believe. So thank you guys for watching. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Hope you liked it. If you did, hit that thumbs up. Really helps. If you want to see more, I'm gonna put the email on the screen right now. You can send more pictures there for a third episode. I'll do it when I have enough pictures. And don't forget to subscribe. And yeah, if you're walking the dog, hope it's not a crazy one like this. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Stay safe, guys. See ya. Anna. Bye.